This Russian attack at first glance is no different from the previous one. Tornado S? That's right. This missile system was used to attack Ukraine again. Without even thinking about fending off the attack, all the objects in that place were turned into ruins without a trace. Why did this happen? Doesn't Ukraine have US air defense equipment? Let's find out. As if there was no end in sight, the Russian Defense Ministry once again broadcasted the success of their attack on Ukraine. On May 23rd, an unofficial source broadcast footage of the destruction of one of the Ukrainian Air Force airfields near the village of Kislychevata in the Dnipropetrovsk region. According to other sources, the strike was carried out by a Tornado S multiple launch rocket system. The airfield was home to an AN-2 Yak-52 aircraft and a control and launch point for enemy UAVs. As a result of the strike, 3 Yak-52 light aircraft were destroyed at once. Honestly, it's hard to confirm how many Yak-52 were actually destroyed as a result of the Russian armed force strike, because the quality of the footage does not allow us to assess the condition of the aircraft. The attack on Barkovo airfield wasn't a random act of destruction. There was strategic reasoning behind Russia's decision to strike this particular location. Despite its relatively modest appearance compared to major air bases, Barkovo functioned as a crucial logistical and operational node. Its main strength wasn't the number of aircraft stationed there, but rather its role in coordinating drone surveillance and low-cost countermeasures against Russian UAVs. Russia's military planners likely viewed the Yak-52s, especially those modified into Yak-52B2 variants, as a threat, not because they were powerful fighter jets, but because they were practical and adaptive tools that had begun to show results. Low cost, lightweight, and capable of flying at low altitudes, these aircraft posed a challenge to Russian reconnaissance drones that operated with less interference in other zones. Moreover, the fact that this airfield operated as a base for drone launch and control points made it a high-value target. Disabling it meant crippling local Ukrainian intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capabilities, which could give Russian ground units a clearer operational picture with fewer disruptions. The Tornado S MLRS has quickly become one of the most talked about systems in Russia's military arsenal. More accurate and longer range than its predecessor, the Smerch. The Tornado S can launch guided 300mm rockets with a range of up to 120 kilometers or more, depending on the warhead. What makes the Tornado S especially dangerous is its GLONASS guidance and ability to engage point targets, including infrastructure, equipment concentrations, and command centers. When paired with real-time drone surveillance, these strikes become extremely accurate, even against moving or camouflaged targets. One of the most pressing questions after every Russian missile strike is, where was the air defense? After all, Ukraine has received several advanced air defense systems from the West, including NASAMS, IRIS-T, and most notably, the American Patriot system. Ukraine, though armed with a variety of NATO standard weapons, still struggles to counter the Tornado S directly. Unlike ballistic missiles, which can be intercepted with long-range systems like Patriot or SAMP-T, Tornado S rockets fly at lower altitudes and in clustered patterns. It's more cost-effective for the attacker and more difficult for the defender to respond. For Ukraine, the deployment of upgraded Tornado S systems represents a growing threat. These systems can strike targets far behind the front lines, disrupting logistics, command centers, and critical infrastructure. The precision-guided capabilities of the Tornado S, in particular, challenge traditional methods of dispersal and camouflage that have been effective against conventional artillery. Let's get back to discussing the Yak-52 that was cut off. Why did Russia target this plane? This attack raises questions about the Yak-52 aircraft, which is rarely discussed in the news of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, as well as in military technology review videos. Before the explosion, there are pictures taken by a UAV in the daytime, which showed 4 Yak-52 light aircraft at the airfield. Commonly, Ukraine uses this aircraft to intercept Russian drones. Earlier, Russian sources reported that one of their design bureaus carried out a deep modernization of the Yak-52 training aircraft into the Yak-52B2 modification, specifically for countering UAVs. As a result of the modification, the aircraft can carry a payload of 90 kilograms under each wing. Namely, a circular view radar operating in air-to-air, air-to-ground, and weather radar variants, a means of fire destruction, currently a 12-gauge Saiga semi-automatic carbine. The aircraft is equipped with an onboard computer, which generates, among other things, targeting information, and a modern flight and navigation system, which allows flights to be carried out during the day and at night, in simple and difficult weather conditions. Experts have doubts about the effectiveness of the 12-gauge Saiga, whose range does not exceed 50 meters. However, in war, all means are good if they bring benefits. The Ukrainians generally shoot at Russian UAVs directly from the cockpits of light aircraft or from small weapons arms from helicopters. Sometimes they hit. Perhaps what stands out most in this story is the way both sides are forced to innovate. Ukraine's attempt to repurpose Yak-52 aircraft, originally designed as aerobatic trainers, into UAV interceptors, is a vivid example of wartime improvisation. It speaks to the creativity and desperation that defines asymmetric conflict. At the same time, Russia's use of the Tornado-S system to surgically dismantle Ukrainian assets shows that technological advantage, when used effectively, can yield significant results. This constant cycle of action and reaction is reshaping the nature of warfare in the 21st century. One thing is certain: the Tornado-S has proven once again that it's not just about how many missiles you have, but how and where you use them. Thanks for watching.